What we're going to do, instead of buying things, because that's what we don't like to do with Project Cheap Finder, is we're going to make a new bracket for this, a steering brace, an idler arm brace, so to speak.
Well, let's try to not put her in the ditch on the way down the driveway. Idler arm brace in use, working good. We might have toasted a tire back there. Whoops. This is why the wife should not let me out of the house on Sunday morning.
Those of you guys who've been following along, it's Project Cheap Finder, back from the dead. We're having starter problems with it, and I was procrastinating, sidetracked with the Pathmaker, as well as other things, and this thing sat for almost a year, but it's got a new starter in it, so it runs great, and it's time to get back to project. This is a 1995 Nissan Pathfinder. It's bone stock in terms of lift. I cut the fenders a little bit and put these 34-inch super swampers on it. You can check out that video on my channel, how to fit 34-inch tires on a stock Nissan Pathfinder. I also pulled the rear end and welded that, and then the starter died. It's back going again. Time to get back into these projects. So the next thing on the list before we go wheeling with it was the steering brace, because with these big tires, the steering is going to get real bad real fast. And why? Well, it's because of this right here. It's this really, really dumb design with only single shear on your steering link. So you put a little bit of torque on here and you bend this arm, and it's super common. And if you have a Nissan Pathfinder and you haven't bent one yet, it's gonna happen real soon. What we're gonna do, instead of buying things, because that's what we don't like to do with Project Cheap Finder, is we're gonna make a new bracket for this, a steering brace, an idler arm brace, so to speak. And what that is gonna do is it's gonna be under these 3 bolts, and then it's gonna come all the way down and under, and it's gonna capture this bolt. So we end up with double shear on the idler arm. Real easy project if you've got a Nissan Pathfinder. All you need is a buddy with a welder, a couple pieces of plate. You can even get that from Home Depot. But since I'm me, we don't have Home Depot, but we do have a big old pile of scrap steel. Oh, it's getting worse all the time. Oh, that's a sassy looking piece. That right there, I do believe, is what we're gonna need. That might be 5 inches wide, and it might be, yeah, well, let's go take a look. Oh, you know what that is? That's one of the fish plates that I put on the frame on the Pathmaker. Oh, it's the perfect width. Perfect width, and should be pretty close with the height. Also, I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, wouldn't it be easier if I take the tire off? You're absolutely right, it would be easier. Am I gonna make it easier myself? No, probably not. I guess actually what I want to be is 6 and then the 90. Okay. Oh, and look at that. 6 1/4. It's like it was meant to be. So I got this, 6 inches long. It's definitely overkill. It's a 5-inch piece of flat bar and it's 1/4 inch thick. I'm just working on what I got. I would recommend going with thinner metal than this. Looks like the 3 bolts on the frame are 19 mil, and the one on the steering arm, 17 mil. Save you guys from looking for the right size socket. Okay, so we got the idler arm loosened off. Now we can spin it out of the way. Get the plate laid over there. Take a few measurements. Should probably take the damn tire off, so you guys can see a bit easier, eh? God damn it, I should really take this tire off. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, figured if you guys actually wanted to see something, I should probably stop being lazy, take the tire off. So here's the idler arm. You can see I already unbolted it from the frame. 19 mil up there, 17 mil down here. And so what we're doing is this plate is going to get sandwiched in here, and then it's going to tie this lower bolt in. Actually, I want to weld this lower piece on first with the hole in it, and then I can get these 3 holes lined up perfectly. In theory, I could trust my measurements, but in practice, I don't. Here's the next tip when you're cutting little pieces of steel like this. Before I cut this, I'm going to drill the hole in it, because it's way easier to hold it on the drill press when it's 6 inches long. Drill a hole, then I'll cut it to final length. It's way easier than trying to clamp a 2-inch long piece of steel under the drill press. We're going to drill a 12 mil hole. 1/2 inch for you Americans. 1/2 inch hole. Let's get to it. And here's where you love having the long piece of steel to hold on. Or to clamp it down if you're actually a safety person. A safety person. If you're a hack show like me, learn how to do things hack show ways. 12 mil would have been better. But who has a 12 mil drill bit? I don't have a 12 mil drill bit. Well, that's a really jerk move. Murphy's Law says there's a extremely rusted grease nipple on the back. That's a drag. So I guess we're gonna have to drill a hole so we clear around the damn grease nipple. Got her laid out here. Just gonna burn this in, nice and zesty. Then we'll drill these last 3 holes. Big old zester. The old metal squirt gun. It's working good today. Okay, so we got a couple nice welds in there. Looking cheap for the cheap finder. As you can see, my 3/4 inch drill bit did not want to drill through the plywood, but I think I've got enough clearance for that grease circ that I'm never ever going to touch. Am I going to put paint on it? No. I don't know if you can see in there, but it looks like we're just going to clearance that ugly grease circ. Let's get it bolted onto the idler arm side. Then we'll swing it into place and see if we can get these bolts through the frame. Oh, she's tight like a tiger. 3 bolts run through. Everything's finger loose. Let's get her tightened up. Well, of course, as I tighten all this up, I sitting here looking and realize I bet this idler arm's gonna hit when I turn all the way that way. You guys keep an eye on it for me. I'm gonna go turn the wheel. Yup. Well then, so we learned something. Those of you who've done this project before are probably sitting there at home laughing at me, but apparently got to cut this corner out. Damn, I don't really want to unbolt that thing. Okay, we're learning a few things here. Learned that we don't need that grease nipple anymore because I just broke it off. So that was overrated. So the hole wasn't big enough. And then I need to cut this corner off. So here's the useless grease nipple. Guess I gotta reach in there with the end grinder and zip that off. Gotta love building brand new parts and cutting them apart 10 minutes after you're done. It's just hitting there a little bit. Could massage just a tiny bit more. Alright, it's definitely not my prettiest piece of work. But you can see the notch that we had to put in there for the idler arm when it's turned all the way that way. Now, when we turn all the way, it's got full clearance. That's it right there. If you are struggling with steering problems on your lifted WD21 1987 to 1995 Nissan Pathfinder or 86 to 97 D21 Nissan Hardbody pickup truck, this is the solution that will help your steering last a lot longer, because once that idler gets really sloppy, it gets really hard to keep the tie rods together, and that's what eats the steering on these things. Once you get them a little bit lifted, a little bit bigger tires. So that's a killer project. It was 2 pieces of plate and 5 holes. All in all, perfect for the cheap finder. Next up, we're going to throw the lift springs in the thing, give the torsion bars a little bit of a crank. We'll go over how to do that. And then let's do some wheeling. It's about time. It's April. Yesterday, we were wheeling in our t-shirts, which is pretty nice. It was a nice, warm, toasty day. I woke up this morning and it's not really t-shirt weather out here today. But what that probably means is we should scrape the snow off of this thing and take it for a rip. Because, well, it's not very often we get snow on April 10th. So let's fire this thing up and go for a boogie.
This is such a bad idea. Yeah! Well, let's try to not put her in the ditch on the way down the driveway. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Well, as I bomb by some houses at $5 grand, I should note that it's 7 o'clock Sunday morning. Something smells a little burny. I did spend a lot of time at $5 grand there, so. You could also note, this is taking place on a closed course in Mexico. Have you ever driven on compact snow in old super slombers? You understand why I'm going a little bit slow right now. It is terrifying. If I stay in the deep stuff, it's not so bad. But when you're on the packed stuff, it's just sketchy. So yeah, I finished the idler arm brace on this old girl yesterday, and we did a bit of wheeling, and then I was going to finish up that video, but then we got a dump of snow, so I figured I would take a little spool, we could tack this on the end of the video. So idler arm brace in use, working good. Well, cheap find pants, Vulcan Pathfinder Heights. Toasted the tire back there. Whoops. This is why the wife should not let me out the house on Sunday morning. Oh, we didn't kill a tire. Yes. Tire's still good to go. And this side, also still good to go. We clipped her into the barb here a little bit. There's some boulders into there. I might have spread the fire pit around a little bit, but away she goes. So I'm only in two-wheel drive, welded rear, and some swampers. So you could see what a welded rear can do in 8 inches of snow. It just powers you through. It's always fun getting to be a drift racer. I made a mess of the yard. Probably time to go home and have a little bit of Sunday breakfast. Yard work, Pathmaker Heights. Tune in next week. We're gonna lift this thing a couple inches, and then we're gonna wheel it, I guess, because I wouldn't really consider this wheeling.